I have got to change my mind. And I am going towards my first question, which is the question I think everybody wants to ask, and so I'll ask it first. And I need to ask when you're going to bite Bella.
You'll find out in an hour.
And to follow that, if the roles were reversed, would you let Bella bite you?
That's a good question. If the roles were reversed, I would be in the same predicament, but I don't know how Bella would think and if she would think the way I do. And the reason that I have tried to keep Bella human is simple as, there's a question I think you're going to ask later, I hear it, that it's amazing to look at all the young people here and to know that you're all going to grow old. And to have that ability is incredible. To go through the experiences of growing up, to finding the first love, to finding the next station in life, and to grow and have a family. I can never do that. And that's something that I want Bella to really think about. That it's not as simple as fight and be with me forever. That you give up everything that you could have had if you remained human. And so I would definitely want to be with Bella forever. That is my ambition and my goal. But whether I would have the same impact, I don't know.
Good answer. But wouldn't she be safer as a vampire?
Yes and no. I think we've already shown that she's danger prone regardless, and bless you, Bella. And we've also shown that the vampires are just as vulnerable, with the Volturi amongst us, and the fact that we may be immortal, but we are vulnerable. So it can go either way.
Even with the Volturi after?
Even with the Volturi after, is she safer as a vampire? Well, I think she's vulnerable in either position, because if she becomes a vampire, she's still vulnerable to the Volturi if anything else comes along. If there's any other threat, if Victoria has any other friends, she's just as vulnerable. And that's why I will stay by her for as long as possible. And I know some of you have already asked, and I think the questions are going through your mind already, is where is Bella tonight? It's her birthday party. And I've said to some of you, who says she's not here? I'm just not telling you.
And so my next question would be, if Jacob actually came back and won Bella's heart, what would you do?
I've made it clear to Bella that if she chooses Jacob, then I will stay back. But she's got to make that choice. It's just like her quote that she referenced from Wuthering Heights, that I will, just as Heathcliff, if he goes after Bella and she doesn't want it, I will tear him to shreds. But if she chooses Jacob, what I want most out of my entire existence for Bella is for her to be happy. And I left her thinking it was going to be better for her, which made Jacob available. And Jacob was a very good thing for her for that time. And I am very heartbroken over that, because I put her in that position, but so if she chooses him, I have to stand back, but I will always watch out for her. Jacob, if that dog does anything wrong, I will be there, and I will take care of it.
And so if you had the choice, would you prefer to be a vampire or a werewolf?
If I had the choice, I would still be a vampire. Because we all know werewolves smell funny. I like being a little sweet.
What's the very best thing about being immortal?
The question again is, what is the best thing about being immortal? And this is something that I've posed to everybody here, is that if I asked you, do you want to live forever? Your question would be simple, yes or no, but it's not a loaded thing. You would consider that immortality as continuation of the life you already have. In my case, there are strings attached, because every day I thirst for blood. So it's something I have to control. And that influences my own immortality, because every day is a struggle, every night is a struggle. And it's difficult when you don't sleep to have all those things going through your head. But one of the best things about that immortality is that there's always a thirst for knowledge. Knowledge about love, knowledge about the world, knowledge about science and everything. And it's a little, I know the next question coming. I've heard it coming already. What is the worst part about being an immortal? The worst part about being immortal is, imagine everyone here tonight, if you had to be in school for the rest of your lives. Would you like to be in school for 80 years? Well, I've been in school for 80 years, having to go through various programs and being on the borderline of end of high school. I've gone through college a couple of times, and I've always learned something new. But when you sit through a program in Forks, Washington, in a biology class where you know more than a professor, it's a little difficult. So that's part of the worst thing. But also, you go through everyone's experience. You go through, I lived through when we were young, it was called the Great War, which is World War I, is referred to now. And I got sick right as the Americans went into the battle. And then I lived through the Great Depression and watched the people in the Dust Bowl go through their experience. And I watched as World War II and Hitler rose to power, and there's only a limited amount that I can do to stop these things. And the vampires can stop these things without being known. And that's one of the most difficult things, is watching humans destroy each other. And if there's anything I would say to you, is to take comfort in the lives that you have, in the lives that you lead, and be kind to each other as best as you can. Because some of us who have other instincts, I growl and snarl at Jacob, but it's part of my instinct. So that's the best and worst.
That's a very good question, very good answer. So there must be things that you truly miss about the mortal world. And if you could tell me the thing that you miss the most.
One of the things I miss the most about the mortal world is a nice New York cut steak. One of the things that I really miss. But all the things, like I was saying earlier, about growing up and experiencing all the different aspects of life. My life was cut short very early, and now here I am. I went through my little rebellious period, and as you know, during the 20s and 30s, and attacked the people that needed to be attacked. But the thing I miss most is just being human. That'd be my answer.
Is there anything that frightens you?
Losing Bella.
Before Bella, has anybody asked you to bite them?
Has anyone asked me to bite them? I would say not until this evening. Not even, well, no.